Welcome to the Breakfast News on ABS Television. The headlines. Anambra State Government to partner organized private sector to accelerate sustainable development. Anambra State Assembly Speaker Okafor asked Nigerians to promote peace and shun disunity. Standards Organization of Nigeria to introduce product authentication marks to check made substandard goods. Australia announces new policy on direct citizenship for New Zealanders. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News once more on ABS Television. I am Priska Wanko. Governor Chukwuma Soludo says his administration's major objective is to transform Anambra from a state with a largely informal economy into a hub for industrial technology and leisure. Governor Soludo stated this during a town hall meeting with members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, at the Harbour Industrial Layout on Onitsha. Disclosed that Anambra industrial policy will soon be implemented. Government House correspondent Valentine Badha filed this report taken from here.
Able to serve the hub of the state.
Governor Soludo, who described manufacturing and industrialization as the main focus towards making Anambra State prosperous, assured of his commitment to promoting the ease of doing business in the state and expressed his readiness to partner Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and the organized private sector in achieving a sustainable development.
We are grooming the new entrepreneurs, the new millionaires and billionaires of the future. Let's work together. Let's get our people all over. In the Anambra, if every Anambra person anywhere in the world can just pay two things, 25 to 50% of your investment in Anambra, and you pay 25 to 50% of the tax that you pay elsewhere, in 5-10 years, Anambra would not be recognizable. So I say to you, you have a role to play.
The president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Otumba Francis Meshioye, said that Manufacturers Association of Nigeria exists to help deepen the relationship between manufacturers and the government and commended the dedication of the members in sustaining their business in the face of dwindling economy. He thanked Governor Soludo for making the environment friendly for manufacturers and assured him of their continuous support.
The function of MAN is that of deepening the relationship between the government and private sector and manufacturers in particular. As all agree, manufacturer business is a business that is very pivotal to growth of any economy. It is not only in creating jobs, but even assisting in ensuring that we limit our needs for forex and also provide opportunity to earn more currency.
In an address, the chairman, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria for Anambra, Enugu and Ebonyi State, Lady Ada Chukwudozie, who stressed the need for serious attention to be paid to the manufacturing sector, stated some challenges being faced by manufacturers and the need for a lasting solution to be proffered. Lady Ada emphasized the need to support the existing industrial clusters and commended Governor Soludo for his commitment towards encouraging productivity in the state through strategic efforts to improve power supply and providing durable road infrastructure, among others. She urged the state government to do more in checking touting and also involve the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria in decision-making concerning manufacturing and industrialization.
It is said that for every 1 naira input into the manufacturing of a product, another 1 naira is made or added to the economy. And for every job created through manufacturing, 3 other new jobs are created in the other sectors of the economy. Therefore, serious attention should be paid to manufacturers because they are the most credible and bankable members of the organized private sector.
The event attracted critical stakeholders in the manufacturing sector and top government functionaries, including the Speaker, Anambra State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Uche Okafor, the Deputy Speaker, Dr. Pascal Abodike, the representative of Anambra South Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Dr. Ifeanyi Uba, and industrialist Sir Daniel Chukwudozie, traditional ruler of Onitsha, Obi Alfred Achebe, amongst others. Governor Soludo later inaugurated the Zonal Liaison Office for the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria for use.
The glory of God.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo has approved the appointment of Mr. Christian Udechukwu as the new Commissioner for Industry. Mr. Udechukwu replaces Dr. Obina Ngonadi, who previously held fort in that position. A release signed by the press secretary to the governor, Mr. Christian Aburime, said following the new appointment, Mr. Christian Chukwudozie Udechukwu's name has been forwarded to the State House of Assembly for confirmation. Anambra State Executive Council has approved the creation of a Bureau for Missing Persons in the Ministry of Justice. According to a release signed by the State Commissioner for Information, Sapo Nwosu, the establishment of the Bureau is part of the interim recommendation earlier made by the Truth, Justice and Peace Commission in its inception report, earlier submitted to Governor Chukwuma Soludo in February. Details are more on the story from here.
The release explained that the job of the Bureau is to trace cases of missing persons and generate the needed database to support police investigations and eventual prosecution for suspects by the Ministry of Justice. It recalled that on the 23rd of June 2022, Governor Soludo, pursuant to the Commission of Inquiry Law of Anambra State, inaugurated the Truth, Justice and Peace Commission, which has Professor Chidi Anselm Odenkalo as the chairman, Ambassador Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu as the secretary, and Professor Sylvia Chike Ifemeje as one of its commissioners. The release added that Commission's inception report also recommended a government strategy that locates atrocity and violence within a public health framework, professionalization and effective coordination of vigilante services in the state, institutionalizing deliverables for the Ministry of Security and Homeland Affairs, establishing an Anambra Integrated Civic Surveillance System, and Anambra State Safety and Environmental Commission. It noted that the Commission's initial terms of reference included to identify the remote and immediate cause of the agitations, restiveness, violence, and armed struggle in the Southeast since 1999, to document victims and circumstances of death, brutality, and incarceration, as well as identify stakeholders and groups who have played critical roles in agitations and conflicts, their roles, capabilities and demands, address any other issue that may germane to unraveling the extent of the crisis and charting the roadmap for the future, and make recommendations for sustainable peace and security in Anambra State and Southeast.
The Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Uche Okafor, has assured that the state legislature will continue to support all efforts to promote harmonious coexistence among different tribes in the country. In his goodwill message to Muslims as they celebrate the feast of Eid al-Fitr, Right Honorable Okafor urged them to pursue peace at all times and shun acts capable of disuniting the country. The Speaker commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo for providing an enabling environment for Muslims in the state to propagate their faith and also earn their living, and joined them to reciprocate the gesture by giving maximum support to the Soludo administration. He called for intensive prayers on the Muslim and Christian faithful for the peace and progress of the country, stressing the need for even distribution of democracy dividends and appointments amongst the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The state #1 lawmaker appealed to Muslims to join hands in fighting insecurity and other challenges confronting the country. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, has stated that plans are underway to introduce an initiative called the Product Authentication MAC, PAM, to checkmate the influx of substandard goods into the country. SON's Director General, Farouk Salim, explained that the scheme is specifically targeted at imported goods, noting the local manufacturers are not exempted but could key into the program voluntarily. Salim said with PAM unsuspecting consumers now have an additional tool to check if a product is authentic before making a purchase, noting that before buying products, the buyer will have the opportunity to scan the QR code or send an SMS to 281 to know about the authenticity of the product. Said local manufacturers are already fighting substandard goods in the country, noting that any additional cost to manufacturers would only spell doom for a sector that is grappling with multifaceted challenges. He advised importers and dealers in substandard goods to the deceased, saying that Sun is always on top of its game to checkmate activities of unscrupulous elements. He also said that plans are on the way to upgrade the Sun Act, pointing out that there would be a public hearing in the National Assembly with hopes that a bill is passed and signed. The economic community of West African states have signed grant agreements worth 1.3 million euros with 15 training centers to build capacity on agroecology in member states. The capacity building program is part of the implementation of the ECOWAS Agro-ecology program, co-funded by the European Union and the French Development Agency. The total budget of the grant agreement funded by the European Union was over 1 million euros, representing about 88,000 euros per center, and for an average duration of 18 months, aimed at training 12,000 young persons in the region. According to the statement signed by the President of the Commission, Dr. Omar Aliyu Toure, the purpose of each grant is to establish the framework of collaboration between ECOWAS and the recipient center for the implementation of the program activities in West Africa. It covers the 15 ECOWAS member states and is scheduled to end in 2024. Australia announced that to make it easier for hundreds of thousands of New Zealanders to become Aussie citizens, removing a long festering thorn in ties between the traditionally friendly rivals. Under the new rules, starting on July 1, New Zealanders can apply directly for citizenship if they arrived in Australia after 2001 and have lived there for at least 4 years, affecting some 380,000 people according to local media. In 2001, Australia imposed a much contested special category visa for New Zealanders that limited their access to health and welfare and obliged them to gain permanent residency before applying for citizenship. New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins, who visited Brisbane to meet with Albanese, said it marks the biggest improvement in the rights of New Zealand citizens living in Australia in a generation. It also restores the rights Kiwis had in Australia before they were revoked in 2001. Hipkins said the announcement was deliberately timed to be close to Anzac Day on April 25, which marks the anniversary of the first military action of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps in World War I. Former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has said that a potential fight with Deontay Wilder is 95% done on his side and could take place in December if the deal goes through. Talks are ongoing over a proposed settlement in Saudi Arabia, which could also involve Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk fights on the same card. Joshua claimed his first win in over 2 years after defeating Jermaine Franklin in his last fight on April 1, have previously fallen to 2 consecutive losses to Usyk in 2021 and 2022. He then announced he would not return to the ring until December, ruling out a summer showdown with either Fury or Dillian Whyte. Joshua now looks set to face off against the former WC world champion Wilder at the end of the year in a fight that could have happened when they were both champions. Funeral mass has been held in honor of Madam Margaret in Kemdalim of Ameza village in Mbako, Oka North Council area of Anambra State. Madam Margaret, before her death, was a member of Women's Guild. Justice Onyemubi filed this report taken from her.
In a homily, the vicar of St. Stephen Parish in Mbako and Archdeacon Mbako Archdeaconry, Venerable Jason Onyaka Abose, described late Madam Nkemdelem as one who maintained consistent faith in the Lord and charged the children not to depart from the legacy that their mother left for them.
So if the ocha na Chineke the note. Ika bunwa ina di ocha. Ika bunwa yubi di ocha.
While testifying on the life of late Madam Nkemdelem, Mrs. Theresa Udozo narrated how she became friends with her, noting that she was a woman that loved neatness and that she is going to miss her. In their separate reactions, the first son of the deceased, Mr. Chibuzo, the second son, Mr. Arinze, and one of the daughters-in-law, Mrs. Faith Arinze, thanked God for the kind of life their mother lived, adding that they learned a lot from her, especially on upholding religious values, self-discipline, and neatness, promising to follow her footsteps in all areas of life, and appreciated their friends who made out time to be with them.
It's a loss that I cannot be able to repair. Forever, I will continue to mourn her. But I'll try to do something positive in order to legalize her name. Let her be remembered as a legend of our time, particularly in this community.
Dignitaries from Mbako, business moguls from within and outside Anambra State, especially from Lagos, attended the event. Special prayers for the family, offering condolence visits by friends and well-wishers, and performances by Women's Guild Group from St. Stephen's Anglican Church, Mbako, featured at the event.
Remember, you can follow us from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television Oka. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Do log on to our website. It's www.absradiotv.com. And now to end the news this morning, a recap of the main points. Anambra State government is to partner organized private sector to accelerate sustainable developments. Anambra State Assembly Speaker Okafo has asked Nigerians to shun disunity and promote peace. Standards Organization of Nigeria is to introduce product authentication back to checkmate substandard goods. From the international scene, Australia has announced new policy on direct citizenship for New Zealanders. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's it on the Breakfast News at this time on ABS Television. Thanks for watching. I am Priska Onko. Good morning.